Here we are, the Friday Night Movie Podcast at Awesome Conm. We have with us the world's expert on Home Alone with Tim Key, also known as Timmy Da Tiger on Instagram.
Right.
You have a Home Alone tattoo.
Yeah.
Would you like to show it to the camera?
Sure.
All right, show it to the camera, and then we'll keep going here.
So this is my Home Alone tattoo. It's the iconic Kevin screaming face tattoo. So I got it last year in New York City, and that was like one of my bucket list wish items. And so I was like, oh, I gotta get it. And so
That's awesome.
I always tell myself, oh, okay, I just want one tattoo, and when I do get tattoo, I was like, oh, the only one that I want to get is the iconic Kevin screaming face.
That's amazing. So why does that speak to you so much? Because that is an iconic moment, but
right.
What makes it so important to you?
So weird thing is that I've been obsessed with Home Alone ever since I was a kid, and so there's pictures that my parents have of me holding like my Home Alone book, and I got posters as a kid, and so I've loved it ever since I was young. And when I first got my first job, the first thing I bought were vintage Home Alone posters. And I remember at the time they were like $30 like a poster. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money to spend on a poster. And then as the years have gone by, I just got deeper and deeper into the Home Alone collecting world. And now like $30 is like a penny in the Home Alone.
So what is the coolest piece of Home Alone merch that you have collected so far?
So my absolute favorite item is my Home Alone movie theater standee. So it's so I got it.
The original.
Yes. So the way I got it is I got in connection with a guy who actually worked at the movie theater back in 1990.
By the way, I saw it with my friend Ian Michelle and my grandmother in 1990 in the movie theater.
Whoa, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's one thing that I was like, dang, I wish I originally saw it. But so I got a connection with the guy who worked at the movie theater back in 1990, and he from working at the movie theater, he was able to keep this display. So it's a huge 6 foot tall and about 5 feet wide cutout of the Home Alone house, and then it comes with a little Kevin standee. The Kevin standee is about like maybe like 3.5 feet tall, and then the house is about 6 feet tall. So and he told me that it's been sitting in his parents' basement for the last 30 years.
That's amazing. All right, untouched. Okay, so you have some incredible Home Alone memorabilia. You've also met some of the cast members over the years.
Yes.
Who are some of the cast members you've met?
So my favorite one is, of course, I did meet Macaulay Culkin. I meet Macaulay. He did this thing called it was called Nostalgic Night with Macaulay Culkin. So they went around to different cities, and you got to watch the screening, the movie of Home Alone, and then afterwards he came to the stage and talked about the movie. There was a moderator who asked some questions, and then afterwards they had like a little meet and greet, and then you go meet him, and so that will always be my favorite. But I have met I met Buzz, I met Lenny, I met Jeff, and then I met Heather, and who else did I meet? And I met Rod. So Rod is the cousin.
Okay, very cool.
So I met them at the Home Alone reunion in New Jersey.
That's amazing. So now whenever my wife and I are walking through O'Hare Airport, no matter what, we take a picture and we send it to the kids with the gif of those people running.
Right.
What to you is the iconic moment that like you have to tell someone, like mention or quote at any given moment? So one thing I would say in my life, the most iconic thing in my life is every time I go to New York City, I always have to visit the Plaza Hotel. So That's awesome.
I visit that hotel. I mean, probably like
at least 20 times. And every time, and I never get tired of seeing it. And every time I go to New York, I'm like, okay.
Do you ever try to slide on into the elevators like he did?
Oh man! So crazy thing is that the hotel. I know it was a long time ago, but it doesn't even look anywhere close to how they did it in the movie. But the stairs, like the lobby, looks the same, and like of course like going through the entrance stairs and the little twirly door is the same, and so that's like. For me, that's like the one thing I always have to visit the Plaza Hotel.
That's amazing. Okay. How do you rank the Home Alone movies, including the recent one? What's your order?
Okay, so Home Alone 2 is by far my favorite. Well, if we're just going by the ranking, so Home Alone 2 is my favorite, and then would be just the original Home Alone, even though I love both of them so much. Then would be Home Alone 3 with Alex Lintz. And actually Home Alone 3 was a pretty good movie. Alex was a very funny and cute kid. The storyline I thought was pretty good. Scarlett Johansson was in the movie. And so overall I thought that movie was actually done very well. Then I would go then I would go. So it's hard because 4 and 5 to me are like so bad that it's hard to pick which one that I dislike the most. So actually, okay. Now that I think of it, okay, I would go Home Alone 2, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 3. Then I would go. So I'll go Home Alone 5, 4, and then the recent one is actually my least favorite.
Oh wow, okay.
And the reason why is because although I did like the little cameo with Buzz,
yeah, that was great.
And the whole thing with the McAllister security, I thought that was actually a really nice twist. But the reason why the last one is my least favorite, is because the kid, I just cannot stand the kid in the movie.
Okay. He's really good in Jojo Rabbit, though.
So I have seen Jojo Rabbit. He is really good, but for some reason, it felt weird him having the British accent.
It was a little interesting move to make him British.
Yeah, the British thing, because his dad was American, and then it's like the rest of his family was like American, but his mom was British. And then I didn't like the whole thing where. Okay, so the two villains, they weren't really villains because
that I thought was a bit of a ripoff.
Yeah,
because that was a reveal that I was like, I get it's a twist, but the Wet Bandits are bad.
Right, they're bad.
I don't want to see Kevin team up with the Wet Bandits.
Right, and my whole thing was they're more just trying to break into this kid to Max's house to get the doll to save, because remember they were going to lose their house.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really look at them as bad. And also, I don't know why, but I know Kevin in 1 and 2, he's kind of, what's the word? Like he, he's very, he'll like say like very like
bratty things.
Yeah. But for some reason in Home Alone 6, the Max, the kid, he just seemed like too bratty. Like with Kevin, he could, like, when I watched it, he could get away with it, but with Max and the Home Alone 6, it just didn't feel right.
Okay, so beyond Home Alone, non-Culkin related films, you're a lover of all things movies?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite movie ending of all time? Or just one that you really love? I mean, it could be the end of Home Alone. I heard someone say that recently when the family all comes back. But is there a movie where the ending just always gets you, or you found it really surprising, or found it really inspiring?
Let's see.
So this is so I would say the ending that always kind of gets me is in Pineapple Express.
Wow. All right.
Pineapple Express. So Pineapple Express is my all-time favorite like comedy movie. Like, well, Home Alone's a comedy, but like
More of a
like,
family movie.
more family movie, but actually like comedy. It's 1000% Pineapple Express, and for some reason the end where Red comes, he comes he comes like to the rescue, and then Saul and Dale and all of them surviving, surviving after the warehouse, after like the drug
The big
warehouse,
fight scene.
the big fight scene gets in the whole explosion, them surviving and then eating at like the pancake house in right after that, and Red being on the verge of dying, and then he like passes out, and they have to like nudge him, and I don't know, for some reason that scene just like it makes me crack up, but also like I don't know, that's like my favorite ending scene for a movie.
Well, that's great. We love asking that question. Timmy Da Tiger on Instagram.
Yes,
Thank you, Tim Key, for being here.
absolutely.
Really appreciate you being part of the show. Have a great time at the con.
Oh, I appreciate it, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Thanks a lot. Here we are, and welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast, our first episode of Awesome Conm. Welcome, Jay. You are the inaugural guest
I am.
of the first appearance of Friday Night Movie at Awesome Conm.
Awesome.
We've done loads of other cons, but this is actually our home con.
Really?
That's where we're from.
Awesome.
we're
I guess
here.
from DC now.
Yeah,
So
we're-
I'm from Maryland, but yeah.
Arlington. But
Nice.
this is our home con. This is like the con I go to most as a fan, and now I'm here as a host. Do you come here often as a fan?
Yes, I've been here for the past 3 years, and for the past 3 years, I've been hosting panels at Awesome Conm. I do game shows.
Amazing.
Yes,
Game
I do.
shows.
Yes.
We do a game show, not a game show. We do a game on our show.
Okay.
Okay. So you told me before in our little pre-chat you love anime and animated things.
Yep.
Cartoon
Anything animated.
Were you following the big Oscar race this year with Wild Robot, Flow, Inside Out 2?
I did not follow this year. The year that I vaguely really remember following was the year that Guillermo del Toro won for Pinocchio. That's
wow.
the year, because I watched every single one that year. Puss in Boots came out that year. Another Disney film was nominated that year.
My sister and co-host
Mhm.
just showed Pinocchio to her kid, and it traumatized him.
The Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see why.
It's
The stop
like-
motion animation.
It's like nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's an amazing film. It's like, first of all, stop motion is one of the hardest forms of animation. Like, to just animate something that goes like this, it will take like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then they have to move everything for every shot. So like, I have immense respect for stop motion. I have immense respect for Guillermo del Toro. And one of the things that he said a lot on his Oscar campaign was that animation is not a genre, it's a medium, and it's not just for kids.
Totally. In fact, I kind of annoys me. Like, I'm happy it has its own Oscar,
Mhm.
so those movies can be recognized.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's just the best movie of the year, right?
Yes.
Like when Snow White won, the original one,
Yeah.
not the new one. When the original Snow White won, it just won, right? Didn't it win? I think it won.
It was, I don't know, I don't think it won like
No, maybe it's
okay, so it definitely won an Oscar, like against like live action movies, because I think it's one of the first ones to be nominated for, like, first animated films to be nominated for an Oscar. But I know for a fact that after the first Shrek came out, that was when the best animated feature category came to the Oscar. Yes, so like you'll notice before Shrek, there's no animated category. So Shrek was the first. Shrek was the first animated movie to win the best animated feature category at the Oscars. And it's this century. It's not even in the 20th century. They don't have that category.
Did you watch a lot of animated movies this year in general?
This year, honestly, no. I worked a lot this year, and I missed a lot of animated films. I love watching, like, doing the Oscar thing. Like, I haven't even seen Flow. Like, I love to, like, just watch all the animated features. I think Inside Out 2 was the only one I watched. I really wanted to watch The Wild Robot, but I didn't get the chance to.
I didn't want to cry, so I didn't see that one. Saw Inside Out 2 with my kids.
Yeah.
It was very funny to see it with teenagers because they wouldn't even look at me in the eye afterwards because it was
they
so
were like,
real.
is the anger,
Yeah,
is
they
the
were-
sadness, is it?
And so now whenever my kids misbehave, we just say, ennui. Or like when they give us the attitude, we give them ennui. Okay. All right. So you're a Guillermo del Toro fan.
I like what he's done for animation. I have not seen a lot of his other films.
Okay.
I have not. But I have immense respect for what he did for animation. And I know he's working on a movie right now. It's going to take forever because obviously stop motion. But I'm waiting on his next film because I'm pretty sure they're going to give him that Oscar.
Okay. That's very cool. Okay. What are some of the shows you've been watching?
So I just finished Creature Commandos, which is James Gunn's film. It's basically Suicide Squad, but for monsters.
Okay.
So instead of putting people, they put monsters.
Sold.
That is literally
James Gunn does that ensemble team
yes.
so incredibly well.
So the characters in it who are in the Creature Commandos, you have the bride of Frankenstein.
Okay, amazing.
You have Weasel, who's a weasel.
Okay.
You have Dr. Phosphorus, who's who's basically a ball of toxic fire. You have Nina, who is a fish.
All right, cool.
You have Nina, who's a fish, and then obviously you have Rick Flag, who's leading the team, and it's actually
that's interesting.
It's directly connected to the Suicide Squad.
So the Suicide Squad, the movie.
Yes.
So with the octopus starfish thing.
Yes, everything, and Amanda Waller is in it. So Viola Davis is voicing her in it, and
that's fantastic.
Yep, she comes back to voice Amanda Waller. Yep.
Is it a prequel?
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
So Rick Flag is alive?
No, he's not.
Oh.
So it's Rick Flag Senior.
Rick Flag Senior.
Rick Flag Senior is in.
It's not the one from the Suicide Squad. That moment broke my heart in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So the reason why they formed the Creature Commandos in the first place is because it's unethical to put bombs in people's heads, but the monsters aren't people. So yeah, that's basically the basis of it.
That's a great pitch.
Yeah, so the monsters aren't people, so we'll use the monsters to go do the Suicide Squad missions, basically. But it's a Suicide Squad.
That's a great pitch.
It's a Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Okay, a question we've been asking all year now. Well, since we went to South by Southwest, but we're just going to keep it rolling. What do you think is the greatest, or your favorite, or the most memorable ending of a movie of all time?
I would say the most memorable is Orphan.
Oh my goodness. That is an all-time favorite for this podcast. Yes. My sister, Lily, who's one of the hosts, she's out in Spain and she calls me up to tell me about this movie.
Yeah.
And one day I flipped it on and I knew what was going to happen. And I still am haunted from the end.
No, that movie, I don't see it as a horror movie. I see it as a comedy.
The end is a bit of a comedy when they're fighting her.
When they're like fighting, because you have like the little, I don't remember their names, but you have the little deaf girl. And you have the mom, and they're like struggling to get the gun. And then the daughter, she like shoots the gun, but the force is like too powerful for her. They miss, and then they're fighting on the lake. Remember
Like kick her in the head.
Like that. I'm not your mommy. Like that gets me every single time. And when I see that, I literally die laughing. I just think it's so funny. I don't know why.
That's awesome. That is a great, very memorable ending. The teeth. The teeth is just, you'll never be the same when you look at people's teeth after you see that movie.
Like that movie, I've seen that movie. I saw that movie way too young age. And I just think about her like breaking her own, like, I just don't, how could you put yourself through that kind of pain?
Oh.
Like, I was like, but that movie just, it gets me every time.
All right, so I want to play a game show that we do, a game that we play on this show.
Okay.
It's called Buy, Rent, or Meh.
Okay.
It's a rating system.
Okay.
There's another version of the game with worse words, but it's the same. You either buy a movie, you rent it, or you give it a meh. Now, meh doesn't mean the worst.
Okay.
It just means you have a reason behind your meh that you have to explain.
Okay.
And since we're talking about Orphan, I'm thinking about creepy children in movies.
Oh my God.
You feel like creepy children in movies is a topic you could get into? Did you see Megan?
I just saw the trailer for Megan 2, and it's ridiculous. We can do that.
All right. We're gonna do that. Okay. So we're gonna do. Okay. So we've got the Orphan.
Okay.
We've got Megan 2.
Okay.
Or Megan 2. Whatever.
Yeah.
A Megan.
Megan.
Okay. And then I'm going to go old school. I'm going to really challenge you here.
Okay.
The creepy twins from The Shining.
Okay.
All right. So which one do you buy? Which one do you rent? And which one do you make?
Okay. Basically, okay. For Megan, I'm going to start with her because in like the trailer in Megan 2, they basically make her a supercomputer. And it's basically like they make her the Terminator. They make her the Terminator because they want her to defeat another Terminator. Which is literally, isn't that Terminator 2? That's literally Terminator. That is literally the plot of Terminator. It's literally the plot of Terminator 2. But horror dolls. Like,
so that's your buy.
I would say, like, what am I doing with this buy? Like,
no. You're ranking them. So like the top, like one of them is going to be in that buy slot.
Okay.
Like that movie or that character you buy, you take it home. Rent, you only get it for a couple nights.
Yeah.
Meh, you can define what you mean by meh.
Okay. I will do, The Shining is like so iconic for the horror genre. So I'm going to have to buy.
Okay.
The
twins, the higher twins. Yeah.
I'm going to have to buy them.
No one can look at twins properly.
No, literally after that, I think they're the reason why people don't like twins. I think they are. That's why people find like twins creepy. Like, you know, the talking at the same time thing, like wearing the exact same thing. It takes you back to The Shining. So for my rent, my options were Megan and then who else?
And then the Orphan.
The Orphan? Oh my God. Orphan, I'll have to rent her.
Because, I mean, you already went hard on her as a ending.
I feel like I could fight her. I feel like I could beat her in a fight.
Okay, so you're meh for Megan, not only because it has the word meh in it, it's more because the Terminator aspect.
Yeah, the Terminator aspect for me was like, but I think it's Megan is one of those things where it's so bad it's good. I don't think it's supposed to take itself seriously.
Got it.
Like, I think it's supposed to be a fun thing, you know, so I'll just leave her where she is. It's kind of meh, you know.
That's awesome. All right, Jay.
Yes.
Where can people follow you? What panels do you have happening?
So my panel actually already happened.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was so fun. So the panel that I did was Categories. I don't know if you know the game.
It's a classic.
I love Categories. So I've done it for the past 2 years here. And then I've done panels for the past 3 years. Like I've done trivias here. Like I did an MCU trivia here 3 years ago.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So I did that.
And where can people follow you?
People can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at _ the JCU.
That's amazing. All right. Here we are, Friday Night Movie at Awesome Conm with the JCU herself. Jay, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @Fry Night Movie on all of the socials and visiting our website, frynightmovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.